right response, and we call it our IC element for icon. It doesn't work on your Yaesu, it doesn't work on your Kenwood, it only works on icon, and man does it work. And it takes all those early radios and brings them up in gain. Won't work on the 730-40 very well, you're still way down, but sometimes it will. Just have to try it, but all of the early ones is really great. The 781 icon with an IC Heil element is wonderful. And then he said, hey, could you help me? I'm thinking about a new series called the Pro. I was the reason that you have equalization in the Pro series, and he carries that all the way through today. The 7800, 77, 76, all of those that have bass and treble controls, that's all something that we work with him on, and it's great because just like this, you can go in and you can roll off a little low end. If you want to work some DX, you want to punch it up and punch it hard, and it works really good. You see there again, we're playing with the response of our ears. We want to hear articulation. Articulation is what it's all about. If you don't have articulation, it's going to be very hard to hear them. There's your MC50. And you're going to say, my MC50 don't sound like that. Yes, it does. Trust me, it does. And you want to listen, and the only way to do that is transmit in a dummy load and listen in another receiver with a pair of headphones. Then you'll know exactly how you sound to the outside world. That is so important, so important. So we have a lot of things you can do with your rigs. Don't be afraid to go in and try some of that stuff today, and try different things. And we continue to bring you new technology in both that as well as headphones. This is our latest. This is the new Elite. And this is a great piece of gear. And the microphone is our new HC6, and it sounds just about like that little handy mic. It's full range. I have broadcasters doing sports on these. This is what it was designed for, was the broadcaster. And all of our headsets, and it's exclusive to the world. Nobody else is doing this. And you're going to know why, because you understood phasing. I have a little switch on the side that says in or out of phase. Why? When you take two signals on either side of your head, it doesn't cancel them. In this case, it moves them. It's amazing. You can get into a pile-up, and there'll be 5 or 6 stations in there, and you switch the phase, one of them will come up on top or go below. You can actually move the signals acoustically with that phasing control just by flipping phase of the speakers. Everybody have a surround sound system here? But you know about that. You realize, and you probably didn't think about it much, you only have left and right out of your stereo, satellite, DVR, whatever. You only have 2 signals left and right, don't you? How do you get 4? How do you get center channel just dialogue? And how do you get the rears? How do you do that? You only have 2 signals left and right. Well, you don't do it. They did when they recorded it. Indiana Jones, they went out there and set up the microphones, and when all the train comes by or whatever, it goes left to right. Then they take all this back into the studio, and Harrison Ford stands up in front of a microphone and does the dialogue out of phase. Your ProLogic decoder separates those, takes that out of phase signal, puts it through an amplifier and a speaker in the center channel. Aha! You don't hear a thing left and right, but your decoder does, and you get center channel. They take it out of phase from the left side, and you get the rears. It's an incredible piece of science, and nobody talks about it. but that's how it works. I took the same science. I'm not a genius, I'm just a ham. Barely got through high school. And I took the phasing and put it in my headsets, so when we're in amateur radio, we can move signals around. And the other thing it does for these, we got guys operating contests for 24 hours with these things on their heads. And it's about every hour, if you flip the phase, it just refreshes you. It's amazing what it does, because you hear it all different. The senses in your ears are so sensitive, and it captures that. The other thing we do with all of our headsets, when I hear somebody on the air, and I do every once in a while, that hasn't read their instructions, say, oh, I hate that Heil, it's so uncomfortable. Sounds great, but I can't wear it long. Well, you didn't read your instructions. When I developed the headsets, there's a steel bar in here, not plastic like everybody else. And if you have a larger head, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. Bend it to the shape of your head. Got a pinhead like me? Fine. Hold it up. Don't be afraid. You're not going to break it. Now, you can adjust on your ears, in and up and down. It's great. And you can have the most comfortable headset in the world, but you have to shape it. Don't be afraid to do that. We make all of the pieces and parts for you so you can get replacements, wires and Stanton. They even have them here. Just saw a guy get a couple of fresh head pads for his pro set. We also make what I call a little booty, little cotton guy that you can put on here and wash every once in a while. This is really handy on a field day where you got a bunch of guys using them or whatever. But these are amazing products. They're not just products that we bought in a box like most people do. I hate that. They go and buy something from a subcontractor and then they try to sell it to you. How about giving us some new technology? How do I know this? Because I'm on the air just about every day. I use this stuff. I have a lot of different radios. I work with the manufacturers. And so I understand what it takes to make all of this work. And that's basically what we try to do, is to bring you products that fit what we're doing. Anybody got any questions? Yay. In my own station, you're listening to it. But I have to tell you that in the last couple of months, I've been using the HM12, and it's pretty darn good. I've been doing that because after I developed it, I like to use it a lot. But I have this on a boom. I'm a freak for booms. I love booms, because I always got a soldering iron. You got computers going and stuff getting away. I love booms. We just came up with a new one, and it's only about, I think it's 70 pounds here. Very inexpensive, but very good. And we're bringing you all of these new products. We call it our Genesis series. This stuff is very low cost, but it's high quality. I unplugged my 781. And the little HM12 is pretty darn good. Doesn't have quite the low end and all that, but it's pretty darn good, especially for about a third of the price. So there again, depends on what you want to do with it. But that's what I use at home. You had another question? No? Okay. Anybody else? Yes.
Yeah, well, the biggest problem I've noticed with operating, actually been demonstrating this yourself, is the inverse square law, the effect on the output of the mic, being moderated by moving around.
Yeah.
What are your comments on that? I mean, I feel personally much better off since it's reasonably quiet, so you can sit there, people think to wait for the mic.
Well, here we go. Let me show you something again. We got to play with the science. Do not try to defy science. Okay? Number one rule.